And it's time for Lefties Losing It. Here's Sweden's worst export global warming doom goblin, Greta Thunberg, causing more trouble in Italy. She's already got herself banned from Venice for dyeing the main canal green to protest the weather. Now she's pivoted back to her side hustle, Palestine. Let's look at her dancing with UN tax strain Francesca Albanese. Don't know about you, but talk about genocide doesn't normally have me dancing in the streets.
Genocide in Palestine is still ongoing. I repeat, the genocide in Palestine is still ongoing.
What a pack of weirdos. Now, we already have the seditious six, the Democrats who told members of the military to disobey so-called illegal orders, though they couldn't name any. Now we can say that we have a seditious 10 because the View co-hosts have jumped on board the treason train. Here they are suggesting orders given to members of the military may be illegal, and they're calling on US servicemen and women to perhaps break the chain of command.
Okay, enough is enough.
Well, I know this is why those Democratic vets put out that video last week that people said, why would they need to say what's already obvious, that, you know, military personnel, they don't need to, they can refuse to act on an illegal order. And people were like, yeah, but there's nothing like that. Well, this is a situation where there were clearly in the cameras two men on like parts of the explosion, and then they're killed. So the likelihood of this is, it's not a war. We're not at war with Venezuela, but it's murder. It's flat out murder. And anyone that acted on those orders could be held on war crimes. Am I?
Yeah. War crimes for killing narcotics traffickers, bringing drugs into America that will kill thousands? Really? Now, watch as Anna Navarro claims that the Trump administration isn't targeting these narco boats because of its war on deadly drugs. What's her theory?
Donald Trump is trying to convince Americans that this is about fighting drugs, and this is because Maduro released crazy people, opened up the jails and the insane asylums and sent people here. That second part is flat out lies. There is no evidence of that. On the drug aspect, very little of the drugs that go through Venezuela actually come to the United States.
Yeah, great analysis there, Anna. And for the last time, your opinions and weird fever dreams are not facts. Time to check in on trans activist Lily Tino, defending his behaviour in a women's bathroom where he took photos of women in what should have been a private, female-only area.
Took those photos with a very clear goal in mind, which was to show a non-passing trans woman existing peacefully in a bathroom. How do you change people's minds? That's why I posted the pictures, right? Like, yes, I knew it was going to be shocking. Like, I knew. I wasn't just trying to make people mad. I was trying to expose them to something that over time I want to be normal. I don't want to have to walk into a bathroom and feel afraid.
He knew precisely what he was doing, and he got the attention he so desperately craves. Now, we know Christmas is fast approaching and the White House is looking glorious. This year, First Lady Melania Trump oversaw the Christmas decorations. See if you can detect the subtle difference between Melania and Jill Biden's work. First, let's have a gander at what Christmas or the holiday season was like at the White House under the Biden administration. Remember this? I think we've had enough of that weirdness. We've had our quota for weird today. Let's have a look at this year's White House Christmas decorations under the guidance of Melania Trump. just a subtle difference, barely noticeable. Now it's time for a stroll down memory lane and watch here as Margaret Brennan from CBS claimed that Afghan asylum seekers were all properly vetted, even as JD Vance gives her examples and tries to explain to her why prioritising the safety of Americans should be the top priority. I have to say that interview made Margaret Brennan look pretty terrible at the time. After what happened in DC last week, it makes her look even worse.
You said, I don't think we should abandon anybody who's been properly vetted and helped us. Do you stand by that?
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals have been properly vetted.
But there are 30,000 people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary concern as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that we know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These people are vetted. These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country.
Welcome back. Joining me now is comedian Alex Stein. And Alex, we're going to talk about the issue of immigration, illegal and legal migration through asylum programs, some better run than others, some with barely any vetting. Let's hear from the man dubbed America's Sweetheart by Jesse Waters, the Trump administration's bulldog, Stephen Miller.
This was not a loophole. The Biden administration, Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, devised a scheme to fly illegal aliens into the country and then to escort them en masse across the border by the millions and to give them something known as parole, which gives them a work permit, which gives them a social security number, which gives them access to the voting booth. This was the plan all along, to get them here illegally so they can get free government benefits, get hooked to welfare, and be able to participate in American elections. This was an attack on democracy by the Democrat Party. It's the same attack that we see, Sean, when you have California, a sanctuary state, that is refusing to turn over even illegal alien criminals and gang members to ICE. So these are illegal aliens in California who have been arrested by California police, by California law enforcement for serious crimes, for crimes against children, for felonies, for crimes that threaten public safety, and they are refusing to hand these criminal illegal aliens over to ICE. Instead, they're freeing them back into the cities to offend and offend again. By any definition, what California is doing is criminal.
Alex, is that how you see it, that the Democrats, these policies that they implemented were essentially an attack on American democracy?
1,000%. And one of the other reasons they do it is so that they can increase the census, so they can get more, representatives in Congress by filling their state with illegal immigrants. So this is a immigration scam that's been going on. And let's be real, even conservatives aren't against social services. We just don't want our social services going to illegal immigrants over American citizens. And what Stephen Miller said was exactly correct. And, the past administration basically just let anybody that wanted to come could come to this country. It didn't matter. Their criminal record didn't matter, why they were leaving their country. We just let them come in. And now we're facing the consequences of an administration that was trying to win future elections by basically giving free social services to illegal immigrants in the hopes that they will not only up the numbers in their area to get more representation, but so that they'll vote to continue to keep all these free social services for themselves. So it's a horrible system. And, if you come to America, you need to come the right way. You don't need to come here illegally because, it's really affecting all of the jobs and just, the overall well-being of our entire country.
Now, President Trump was in attack mode against Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, even touching on the almost taboo topic, which is the manner in which she is alleged to have entered the country.
When you talk about denaturalizing... You're talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she should be a congressman, and we should throw her the hell out of our country.
Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that...
You have a problem with it? Anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
Didn't miss Tim Walz there either. Alex, how will this attack against Ilhan Omar play out? I've already seen outrage from the usual suspects at CNN, MSN Now, ABC, NBC, all of them. But how is the average American seeing this clash between Trump and Omar?
Well, the average American probably doesn't know that Ilhan Omar allegedly did an immigration scam where she allegedly married her brother. So I think if more people knew that, they would definitely be frustrated if she was their representative. But when it comes to the issue in her district and all of the Somalis that live there, Donald Trump is exactly right. Tim Walz is just letting these people come in here and, tampon Tim Walz. I'm so happy that he is getting called out by Donald Trump. And, you had all of these politicians go after conservatives like George Santos, and need to go after these liberals like Ilhan Omar.
Oh, I tell you, the Somalian population certainly has become a powerful force in Minnesota, and they are impacting on elections there. Now, we know the Trump administration is hell-bent on stamping out illegal immigration. There are those who continue to support those who are in the country illegally, including you, Alex Stein.
Would you rather date a liberal or an illegal immigrant?
I would always rather date a big Latina, and that's why I want amnesty for all big Latinas. If you're a 9, you're fine. I love these illegal immigrants. The more legal, the better. I want them fresh off the boat because I don't want them to come here and get too Americanized. I like their culture, so sometimes they lose that. They become like an American woman, lazy and online shopping. No, I want a woman that could cook, clean, and fold the bed corner so that it's perfect, so that when I get into my home bed, it feels just like I'm getting into a bed at a hotel. And who cleans all the hotels the best? Big Latinas.
Alex, try to explain yourself. I can't help you here.
Well, Rita, I don't need a lot of help. This is a bipartisan issue. Here in America, we want the cartel members thrown out. We want all of the illegal gangbangers. But if you're a beautiful big booty Latina, you're welcome to stay in our country. We want amnesty for all 9. If you're a 9, you're fine. If you're an 8, no immigration debate. You're welcome to stay. And Rita, you're welcome to stay as well. You don't have to be a Latina. Any beautiful immigrant can stay. All the guys, you got to go.
Alex Stein, thank you so much for your time tonight.